Chelsea won a game. Chelsea won a game under Graham Potter. Chelsea won Leeds 0. We have got the full breakdown of this game because there is a lot to take away. Promising sides and some worrying signs. But on top of that, we've got an update from Fabrizio Romano regarding the future of Raheem Sterling and the future of Mason Mount. And I'm telling you now, Mason Mount, I don't believe is fully in. I'm telling you now, I believe there's more to it than meets the eye, and I'm going to give you my theory. Welcome to the Kavkas View, bratoki. Guys, it's been a while since I've been able to say this, but Chelsea have won a game. And now that Chelsea have won a game, we've got some positives to take away. We had good performances, elite level performances, and some worrying aspects of the game. So in Chat and Breeze, what do? We start with the good, the bad, and the downright ugly, and we break down the game, and you guys go away with an objective view from myself. Everyone can have different opinions, but this is my. On top of that, I've got two other stories that I've told you we're going to cover at the very end of the video. So all I ask for you guys is to help the channel. The easiest way you can help the channel is by just clicking the like button, which is 3, and more importantly, subscribing to the channel. We are so close to 25k. We're like 90 people away. So support the channel, do that thing for me, and let's move on with the video. Let's start with the good, because it's been a while since we've had something good to do. The good is very simple, and we're going to start from in chronological order. Number 1, it's a great win, right? The win was uber important. The win was more important than the performance, some would even say. And the win was something that we just had to gather, or Potter was going to get sacked. You could tell by everyone's anxiety at the ground, whether it was the fans, whether it was Potter on the sidelines, or whether it was the players. The relief, the euphoria when Fofana leaped like a salmon and headed it across was evident for all to see. What did Potter do? Potter went back to the roots. He went back to his Brighton roots. He went to 3-4-3, 3 at the back system, 2 wing back, 2 centre midfielders, and 3 attackers. And then he literally utilised his players to the best of their ability. And I'm going to be very honest. This is what Tuchel was doing, and this is how we were getting results, and this is how we were positive. I'm not saying this is the formation that's going to lead us to the promised land, but I am saying that this is the formation that will enable us to give us the best platform to go on and win more games. And this was evident. More importantly, what was nice to see, we got a goal from a set piece. I am always preaching, whenever we get a corner, basically us throwing it away and giving them the ball back. Now we have 3 big centre halves that are all 6 foot plus. Ruben Loftus-Cheek coming in, trying to attack the ball, trying to attack the header from a corner. And you know what? We finally got the goal. Wesley Fofana had one opportunity in the first half where I think he should have done better from a corner kick. The ball comes in, he leaps beautifully and just doesn't guide it downward. He literally just got a head on it because the pace was on the ball, but he had to guide it. And the second one from Chile crosses the ball from a corner, and in the second half, he rises lovely and learnt from his lesson. Nice looping header, got just enough on it. Keeper couldn't stop it, and the euphoria was nice to see. We need to start getting more of those goals. We get so many free kicks in and around the area. We need to be a bit more creative. We need to start utilising the height of our players. We know Badiashile was touted to be a great set-piece threat. Why are we not using him? He rises so well, and so does Wesley Fofana. On top of that, let's talk about the back 3. Because the back 3 for me yesterday were very... The back 3 yesterday highlighted that we need to start utilising our back 3 more. Wesley Fofana and Badiashile were amazing. Whether it was on the ball, whether it was out wide, whether it was just knowing when to press, when to commit, when to hold back, to leave the gap, covering behind themselves, the overall performance from those two was really good. The passing range on those two was for all to see. Badiashile's long passes were evident, and he won't get none of the plaudits because he didn't score the goal. It was Wesley Fofana. But Fofana's passing was very good as well. Koulibaly, after a few shaky moments in the game, he was very good in the sense that he had 2 major blocks. There was one block where the ball comes across the goal and it hits their striker, and if Koulibaly doesn't get his body on it, Kepa is beaten. And it literally hit him and rolled luckily into Kepa's hands. There was an instance where Koulibaly gets caught square. The back 3 was caught square and there was no pressure on the ball. The ball goes in behind. Koulibaly runs across and he got caught out of position, but he had a recovery on him to slide in and flick the ball away to give himself the time, get back up and then recover into a right position was there. So much reactionary defending. It was good from Koulibaly in the sense that he just suits the middle of the 3. He doesn't have to go wide. He doesn't have to be uncomfortable in the left back area or the right back area because he's being dragged out there. Overall, very good performance. Ben Chilwell, for me, yesterday, highlighted what it meant to him. I'm very hard on Ben Chilwell. I think Ben Chilwell is basic Ben. I think he does the basics very well, doesn't do nothing extraordinary, and then people expect me to praise him and laud him like an ultimate left back. Yesterday, he had a very good performance. Consistent outlet on the left-hand side, created numerous opportunities being on that left-hand side with crosses coming in. Always on that left-hand side for Enzo direct passes. Enzo must have played 4 or 5 switches of play to Ben Chilwell where he's the furthest man ahead. He literally was stretching their team out. Literally, he had chalk on his boots. And more importantly, he was forcing their fullback and winger to go back. And that helped Chelsea because it relieved pressure. Yes, Chilwell had few good crosses, few bad crosses. As well, there was an opportunity where Kai played a beautiful ball over the top on the 31st minute, I think it was. And Ben's touch was poor because he went to volley it when really he should have either side-footed it or taken it down because he's good enough to take it down. He's got the technical ability to do that. Ben's going to get better and better because he's going to get fitter, and when he's fitter, he's going to just grow with confidence because his PMP will come back. He's very pace and power. He's very Conor Gallagher of left back. You know, good attributes, but great athleticism. Let's hope he maintains it. And on top of that, we created a heck of a lot of chances yet. I think for 25 minutes, 30 minutes in that first half, and then there were glimpses in the second half, we saw what we could become. I'm not getting carried away before anyone attacks me and says, Alex, you know what, you're being reactionary. No, I think we are still a bad team. We're not a great team. It was obvious to see. But we can take positives from yesterday's game. Number one, the pass opportunity in transition because of our press. Our press was cohesive and unified. And because our press was cohesive and unified, we won the ball higher up and we could hit teams on the transition. And there was one opportunity where Sterling got the ball, threads it through to Kai Havertz. Havertz is going through one-on-one and Havertz tries a little jinkety flick, bruv. And it's annoying because sometimes Kai just put your foot through it, man. Like, you're better than that. Or actually, I don't even know if you're better than that anymore. You know, evidence is suggesting you're not. But he had to finish it. Good save from the keeper. And the issue here is, how many times do I have to keep saying that whenever it comes to Kai? Good save by the keeper. Sooner or later, it's poor finish from Kai. Then you got Joao Felix. Joao Felix gets the ball in transition, cuts in, opens the pitch up, gives it wide to Raheem Sterling. Raheem Sterling cuts it back to him. Joao side foots it beautifully, absolutely beautifully. Hits the crossbar, comes flying out. Then we had another opportunity on the 46th minute where Joao Felix creates everything good that we had yesterday came from Joao and Sterling. Both of them were creating it. Sterling literally nips in, right foot, left foot, loses the ball, goes to Ruben Loftus-Cheek, comes back to him on the edge of the 6-yard area and curls it wide. So many opportunities, but we just aren't finishing the chances. But it's nice that we're creating these chances. Good performance, honestly, a good performance in glimpse. But when there's good, there is bad, because we're objective and we're realistic. What's annoying is that there were way too many chances for Chelsea in open play that we just didn't capitalize on. And the set piece opportunities we got, we didn't take. And that is annoying because once you start having these opportunities and you don't kill teams off, teams are alive and kicking, and guess what? They're going to get opportunities. And Leeds had, in that second half, 2 or 3 opportunities where A, they didn't pull the trigger, or B, we had to get last-ditch blocks. Those last-ditch blocks were bothering me. Those last-ditch blocks were literally having my heart rate beating at the speed of light. I was not comfortable watching that second half. I felt extremely worried. I felt like we were going to concede at any moment. And more importantly, what makes me worried is that we don't look like a team that's confident. And it makes sense because it's 2 wins in 17. Like, 2 wins in 17, now it's 3 wins in 18, and it will take time to rebuild that confidence. But against Dortmund, this cannot happen. Dortmund are a better team than Leeds. They will punish us. So we need to be honest, we need to be realistic, and we need to be objective in how we judge our performance. Gave away too many opportunities. Yes, their XG is 0.75, and a lot of you are going to say, you know what, if it's that low, then did we really give that many opportunities? Yes, we did. They just weren't high quality opportunities. We need to be better, more control. And the control for me was lackluster in the sense that we were giving teams dumb opportunities. For example, in the first half, there's an incident that stays open to me is They've got the ball with Somerville. Somerville's jinkity around the box. And Koulibaly has no reason and he just clamps. Like, why are you clamping him? Did we not learn from Southampton? Like, James Ward-Prowse put it in top bin. Leeds don't have someone like him. But you can't be giving edge of the box free kicks away right before half-time. Mateo Kovacic. I love the player. I really do. I think he's a very good player. But he's not giving us the control next to Enzo. He's just not partnering Enzo. And when the experienced players don't step up, it makes me worry. Because I expect inconsistency from Wesley Fofana, Benoit Badiashile. I expect inconsistency from Joao Felix, Kai Havertz, Mason Mount even, I'd go that far. I don't expect them from Kalidou Koulibaly and Mateo Kovacic. I really don't. I want you guys to be the ones that, the standard bearers of the 7, the 8s out of 10s. And for me yesterday, whilst Koulibaly was good, there were too many mistakes where if there was a goal that went in, we would have been moaning about his performance. Because it's literally that close to being a bad performance. He wasn't great like Badiashile and Fofana, for me personally. Kovacic, I don't know what he added to the game yesterday. He looked very out of sort. He looked unfit. Honestly, he looked unfit. The downright ugly, and I've got 2 things to put in the downright ugly, and I think a lot of people are gonna appreciate this, and some people are gonna be against it. The team looks unfit. I think the team isn't ready to play the intensity that Potter wants them to play with. I don't think it's a coincidence that in multiple games, we have good 30-minute spell, and then after, for 60 minutes, we're lackluster. And usually the 30 minutes is the first 30. Joao Felix looks unfit. Enzo Fernandez looks unfit. Multiple players in this team don't look like they're ready to play 90 minutes of full throttle football in the Premier League. Joao got taken off yesterday, and the reason Joao got taken off yesterday was because he just didn't look fit enough to complete 90 minutes. The intensity was too much for him. And he's just waiting for muscular injuries to happen. I don't know how they're training. I don't know whether they're training. I'm not a sports scientist, and I'm not a coach. I know what I see with my eyes, and I see that they're struggling to maintain a certain level of performance, and it's not due to ability, it's due to fitness. Like, we drop off. Everything we do is slower as the game goes on, yet other teams get stronger, and I want to understand why that is. Maybe someone could tell me in the comments below, because I'm baffled. Number 2, the subs. The subs from Potter were ugly. I know you're desperate to get the win, but you're inviting more pressure on. He literally brought on every defender and every midfielder he had in place of attackers and midfielders. Like, he had a Trevor Chalobah on, Chukwuemeka on, Conor Gallagher on, Zakaria on, and I'm like, okay, I understand what you're trying to do. You're trying to shore it up, but we need to pose some sort of threat. The only person that is an attacking outlet that he brought on was Madueke. And Madueke is a good player, but he only came in for 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes max. Like, I think it was the 88th minute, 87th minute, if I'm not mistaken. The sub caused the game to be so wide open. Where's Mikhailo Mudryk? Where is Mikhailo Mudryk? Why is Madueke not coming on for Raheem Sterling and Mudryk not coming on for Joao Felix? And we're hitting teams on the break. Why are we not trying to kill the game off? Leeds were coming at us, and I'm like, we have no outlet. Connor came on, and you know what Connor did? Tried his best, and Carney Chukwuemeka tried his best, but they're not forwards. They're midfielders. They're 10s. They're 8s. Like, they're not the outlets of wide players that you want on a counter-attack. Like, that's just my personal opinion. And finally, this last one, a lot of you aren't going to like this, and you're going to say, you know what, it's rich coming from you. You're not the one spending your money. But, yo, fans, up your game. Half-time booing? Really? Half-time booing? What are you booing at half-time? Like, that's just my personal opinion. I want to understand this. Like, how is a nervous team playing good? Because the first half was good. Let's not beat around the bush. It was a good 30 minutes, 15 minutes. How is it helping putting more pressure on the team by booing them? It's not like we were losing. It's not like we were getting humiliated. It was a good performance. It's just the goals didn't go in. Yet you boo them off the pitch. And I don't understand that. I just feel like it's causing controversy. It's causing nerves. It's causing additional stress on the players that they just don't need at this moment in time. Bro, you saw the real euphoria and the disbelief of when they actually scored. You think it doesn't bother the people involved in the games as much as it bothers us? Look, we're the fans, right? And we love our team. But I think Bro, you saw what it meant to Fofana when he scored. You saw what it meant to Enzo Fernandez and Badiashile when they ran up behind him and hugged him. You saw what it meant to Kepa Arrizabalaga at the end of the game. Booing him at halftime is just counterproductive in my eyes. That's my personal opinion. But that's the match review done. And now the news that came out about after the game from Fabrizio Romano. Raheem Sterling's not going anywhere. Like, Fabrizio's come out and said, Raheem is a key cog in the Chelsea machine. Chelsea know what they have with him, they know how impressive he is, and they want to build a team with Raheem Sterling involved. And I personally think that is marvellous news, because Raheem Sterling and Joao Felix were very good. The way they performed, the way they exemplified, Raheem Sterling is a proven goal scorer. Give him chances, he will score goals. Give him minutes, he will reward you with goals. Give him opportunities, he will give you winners. Trust him, believe in him. And now with Mason Mount, Fabrizio's saying it's done. There are no conversation at this moment in time between Mason Mount's camp and Chelsea's camp. Reason being is they're too far away from the valuations. For me, I'm about to say something and I think people are not gonna like it. I've been watching football for a long time now, right? I've been watching football for a long time, to the point where you start seeing patterns emerge when a club and a player aren't agreeing on a contract. A very popular one is, that I remember, is for Fabio Borini with Chelsea. Fabio was in and around the squad under Ancelotti, and we needed a striker. And at that moment in time, I think we had like a bad injury run in, if I'm not mistaken. And Fabio Borini was just neglected. He weren't allowed to play in the team until he signed a contract. And he didn't sign a contract and he left on a free. Carlo couldn't play him. And now, Mason Mount just miraculously has an injury. Nothing's reported of it. Nothing was said. Mason's hardly been playing. He's been bench warming. And all of a sudden, Mason Mount's got an injury, and we're getting articles after articles from numerous sources coming out saying, well, you know what? Contract talks are dead. The player's not signing. Could this be Chelsea basically saying, unless you sign a new deal, you're not playing from now till the end of the season? We're literally gonna write you out. Like, we're gonna do everything in our power to make you sign under the terms we want. If that's the case, I think it's a bit wrong, because I think he's an asset, and more importantly, he's a human being. He wants to do his job at the current wage that he's paid for, and he shouldn't be left out of the squad, in my opinion. This is my opinion, for external reasons apart from his performances. But I could be jumping the gun and making stuff up. But I've seen this happen on many occasions before, where a player doesn't agree to sign a contract, the club goes, okay, cool, we're taking it out of your hands. You ain't playing until you sign a deal. And then the player almost gets pressured into signing. I have no clue. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Let me know if I'm reaching. But this was the Kavkas View. Peace out, I'm out.